Holy smokes, guys! We are back with what turned out to be an epic pack review for what we're calling a not so epic pack. So I don't know how we were able to stretch it out through the magic of.
We're gonna turn it into 2 more episodes, and then we're gonna release 3 director's cuts.
Yeah,
so you'll get the compile.
Make sure you stay past the credits for a secret clip of that, right? Like a teaser. Yeah. Hey, let's do some quick rundowns. Corey, 5-second review, Ghost in the Shell. You saw it?
I really liked it. Don't hate. Go see the movie. It's fun. Enjoy it.
The It trailer dropped today. Looks really good.
I mean, it looks like a new version of everything that was in the old movie.
Hey, I think it looks truer to the book.
Yeah, it could be good. I mean, last time there was a good Stephen King movie.
Hollis's good friend has a birthday today. Stanley Kirkborough.
Yeah. Happy birthday, Stanley. Happy birthday, buddy.
Can't touch this. MC Hammer, 55 today.
Yeah, listen. Dun, 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 dun. I mean, he could touch this if he really wanted to, but that's a different podcast.
Yeah.
We discussed that.
It's a little strange. It's not.
Well, on MC Hammer's birthday, we are live to talk about the corporation side of Station 1. If you are listening to this not live, or if you join sometime within the next half hour where the day rolls over, it was that comment has no meaning to you at ever. Okay, so let's switch up views now and dive into some stuff here.
Yeah, man, I'm ready.
First up, let's just know that a new month is coming up, guys. So what you're seeing right here is our promo cards. If you are a Patreon, we'll be getting ready to send out the next wave when the month rolls over. So we're doing Security Nexus. So if you're looking to get that sweet alt art console, Security Nexus, then that's where you get it. Is that our Patreon? You can either pick up a full set for a one-timer, or you can just grab one if you like.
And those of you already should be hitting your mailboxes any day now, so keep an eye out.
Perfecto. Okay, so that's housekeeping 101, fellas.
Yeah, we got there.
We made it. I'm proud of you guys.
Thanks, dude.
Really am proud.
It's hard work.
All right, so everyone at home, pull out your score pads. We're on the Corp tab now. So, guys, looking at where we are, do you guys want to make adjustments later? Did any of these cards from the initial pack need to be adjusted right now?
I'm good right now. I think we'll plot. I want to plot down Station 1, and then we can see what we want to move after that.
Yeah.
I think stuff may get adjusted as we're putting in cards.
Yeah.
As a little bit of a discussion point, I'm getting some good games in with Jemison, and I don't know. I think it's a little more than average.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know if it's just because I'm liking the play style, because it's so different than anything else I've played, and I really like the thoughts on burning points to get more points and stuff like that. I really like this Wayland style mechanic that they've built for this ID. So I don't know if it's me just cult of the new, but I'm digging it. I'm digging it a lot.
It's awesome. It's really cool. I think it's a really neat way to play the game. It's super different.
But
I still feel like it needs some more sport cards where it breaks the mold.
Yeah. All right. First up, Corey, what are you going to hit us with?
So we're going to go into an exciting piece of ice, the Cedar Adaptive Barrier. This is an HB fantastic barrier. Res 4, Strength 2, Influence 1. Cedar Adaptive Barrier has +1 strength for each piece of ice protecting this server. Does include itself, note, and it has 1 subroutine of In the Run.
Whoa.
So, I guess the obvious comparison is if you put this side by side to Bastion. Bastion is 4 strength, 4 res, right?
Yes.
1 subroutine. But the idea is with Cedar, if you're going to build deeper and bigger servers, you can make it a bit more taxing. The cool thing is it's not positional dictated, so it doesn't mean like ice past it. It's just either ice on the server, so it's easier to play. So later game it should hopefully get better. Yeah, it's not a bad card. I think it's just another flavor of barrier. And that's just, it's not like wow amazing, but if you
And so it's gonna bump itself up, right?
Yeah. So yeah, you're spending 4 for effectively a strength 3 when you're rezzing it. And then, piece of ice is strength 4, another piece of ice strength 5. So if you think about like Corroder as your general breaker or paperclip or something like that, you're doing a little bit more of a tax each time something adds in. This is how currently right now, like I don't know how often you see those like big servers being built to where it gets to that level where it'll tax a little bit more. But still not bad, it's so it's really all I can say about it. It's not a bad card. It's not like, oh my god, this is amazing.
Yeah.
I just feel like it's just an option. If you don't want to play with something like Bastion, you can play with this and you are really close to getting the same thing. You just need another piece of ice.
Hollis, Captain Negativity, what do you got on this thing?
I think it's actually very good that HP has an ice like this. Generally because of just what HP does within their color pie. We would get a piece of Bayreuth ice that would have like an ETR, but you would be able to get through it in a way that wasn't just simply you have to pay money, right, or things like that. You'd have to normally you have the option to spend clicks. So it's nice to get this sort of like binary ice like this that is. There's no secondary way to break other than you have to have the right breaker to get through it, or the universal breaker called Parasite. So it's nice. It's nice having just an ETR in the run ice that doesn't have a secondary way to get through it. I think that best case scenarios, though, I think at most you'll ever see this hit is going to be the +3 strength, right? Because it'll be 1 out of 3 pieces of ice that are installed in the server. In Netrunner games, it's pretty uncommon you see more than 3 layers of ice unless there's like a very specific deck you're going against, like Diaper Kate, in which is it Diaper, where basically what you're doing is you're putting like 6 ice or 5 ice, whatever it is, on R&D. So it's pretty uncommon that this will be above the strength of 5. More often it'll basically just be a Bastion, like you said.
Yeah, are we thinking too that Glacier's still on the outs here, right? Because if Glacier picks up in popularity, then obviously this one becomes a little better, right?
Yeah, but I still think at that point it still sits around the strength 4, strength 5, even in Glacier. Because Hollis is right. You don't typically see too many servers past 3 pieces of ice. It's not unheard of, obviously, but it's not a common thing that happens. It's usually about where you cap it and you work on other things to try to keep the runner out than just layering ice.
And I think it's important again to remind the state of mind that we're doing this in. We're doing this in as in now. Right, we're not taking into account any spoilers we've seen coming up. We're not taking into account any spoiled information that has been leaked. So we're not playing off future most wanted lists.
We're not factoring in the influence from the Russians.
Yeah,
we're keeping it as low as we can.
So that being said, I do. I do like the fact too that that this card is very low influence to move out of faction.
Mm-hmm.
I think that plays heavily on its weighting here. A good end the run barrier. I mean, four's borderline. It's not too expensive,
Right.
but it's definitely not one of those cheap end runs that that everybody loves.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird to me because I feel like it has like, even though the ability isn't like super like strong, I don't think it's in the right color pie because it's within the the deck that has accelerated beta test, where if you already have a server that's kind of beefy and you decide, you know what's better than an even beefier server, and you maybe run that accelerated beta test, you hit a few ice, and now that server that had 2 or 3 pieces of ice already now has the 4th one, or the 4th and 5th one, or second and third one, or whatever you want to call it. Mm-hmm. And basically, as a result, this ice immediately gets stronger, and you don't have to add any additional credits to it to do so. But there's an argument to be made where Bastion isn't really played a lot right now.
We're still in the age of ice destruction too, Hollis, right? Like, nothing is changing that at the moment, right? Like, people are still waiting for an officially stamped most wanted list. But right now, I'm still seeing people bring their wizard, ice blow up decks, right? So and Cipher's doing its thing. I mean, so it's hard to say what this is going to be like after the most wanted list drops. But as of right now, I can't see this moving that high in the rankings. Like, it's definitely not a bad barrier.
No, I mean, I feel like it drops right in average. Like, it's not bad if you play it. It's not a instant you've got to play it.
Yeah,
but it's just like, it's not a bad option.
So
I wouldn't fault anyone for playing with this.
Yeah. So is that what you're thinking? We're not creeping it into above average, because I'm happy with it. I don't think so. I'm happy with it as an average barrier currently.
Yeah. I think average is a safe spot. It's a safe space. There's no judgments in the average column.
So are we tucking it under net analytics?
I would. What is net analytics? I guess. I mean, that's something we can always adjust and move, but I feel that's all right.
All right.
I'm also looking to be sure, but I think
like it's not better than synth DNA modification, right?
No, but I don't know. I think it'll get played a lot more than net analytics.
Yeah, I see it getting played more than net analytics, I think, also.
Okay, so adjust?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, you want to hit the next card up while I type this one in?
Sure. So Narine 2.0. Ice, Codegate, Bioroid AP. Res 6, Strength 4, Influence 3. The runner can spend 2 clicks to break up to 2 subroutines on Narine 2.0. Subroutine, deal 1 brain, Corp may draw a card, and then deal 1 brain, and the Corp may draw 1 card.
Are you going to use the this is way better than 1.0 joke?
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, this is way better than 1.0.
Yeah, it's such an improvement over 1.0. I mean, far and away. Yeah. So I feel like the obvious comparison of this is Fairchild, right?
Yep.
And I think if you stack these two together, it's not
right here.
It's not it doesn't stand up to it really well.
Nah.
Nah. Yeah. I mean, sure, it's deal brain damage ice if you catch someone who's running against you who doesn't have a way to break it. Sure, then they get what's coming to them, but I don't know. Unless you're just trying to focus entirely on code gates, I don't know why you would.
Yeah, I mean,
to me, this seems below average.
Since you threw the ranking out there, I would agree with it already. I like it. I do like it in its situation, so it's not bad. But I think most of the time you are going to reach for a different ice at the moment. 2 clicks to break 2 subs. Basically, there's only 2 subs on the card, right? So,
Right.
I mean, you're not making any difficult choices there. These are subs that you obviously want broken, though, and I do think looking at cards as they are, it does fall in line with how brain damage is included in ice, right? Like it's very hard to get a brain damage, to stick.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right, so we haven't seen anything good in the brain damage department for a long time. That being said, I mean, if you do have 2 clicks and you have no way of getting through this, you're obviously going to burn them to get through. So it'll do a little bit of taxing, but nothing else special, right? So I'm agreeing. It's below average right now. It's not something that's blowing bells and whistles.
Right.
Hollis?
Well, it's funny you mentioned below average. Because to me, I think to me, I think it's actually bad.
Of course he does.
But I'm also comparing it to Victor 2, which does a
Yeah.
brain and ends the run, and it's a 5 for 5 pounder. So so this card is a quarter pounder, and Victor 2 feels like a quarter pounder with cheese, which is the +1. So, is that right? Victor 2 is a 5/5, right? 5 to res, 5 strength, 2 sub. First one's is a trace 4 for a brain, the other is an end the run. Someone in chat will correct me, or we'll look it up in a sec. But
I got you, man. I got you.
Thank you.
I
But,
Yeah,
spelled it wrong.
5/5, 2 clicks.
Yeah.
Do trace 2 successful, do 1 power counter, and then end the run, and then you
Yeah.
turn the power counter, do a brain.
Yeah, I kind of feel like that's a little better. Maybe if for no other reason, but because it has an in the run, on the card, and that's always nice. Plus, a 5 strength as a code gate is stronger than obviously a 4, right? Like I'd feel better with that.
And
And
you're
even
technically paying less the res Victor than you are to res Narine.
Right. And overall, the runners still, if they have 2 free clicks, they can still get through it. So
I just don't like
would
the
put-
trace on Victor.
I don't either.
I mean, it gives you another out if you don't have the breaker or the click, right? Like if they
Right.
have money. The other card, Narine, it's if you don't have the breaker or the click, you're pretty much hitting that.
Right. But it's like you said, like it feels like because you don't often get hit with the brain. The brain is so hard to land these days. It's like an ETR just feels so much better, on a piece of ice. And even then, even with that, having an ETR or with Narine having both brain, the fact remains are both Bioroids, and they're not like Fairchild 3, which is amazing, where it would take the whole turn to get through or something like that. Like instead, you have to deal with I'll play Sure Gamble and now I'll run click. I don't care about that. I'll break I'll break your other stuff. So, I think if we're gonna put it below average, me personally, let me look at the list again.
So below average just has Quarantine System and Z 2.0 right now.
Okay, so then I would.
Right, like is it better than Z?
I think I would. Man, that's tough. I'm looking at Zed now just to make sure.
I think Zed's better than it.
Let's look at Zed too.
6.4 Century, hardware.
Yeah, because I mean a 6/4 code gate, because Yog is a thing. 6/4 Century.
I think Zed. But the trash one hardware seems like not as powerful. But then again,
As the brain, yeah.
But then again, it's got 3 subs, so something is hitting. You know something is hitting if they don't break.
Yeah, right. Because two clicks, you're only passing 2 of those subs. So you are creating a choice, right? So most of the time, you'll probably kill the last one, and one of the hardwares, right? So, I mean, maybe this is just a way to balance out any ridiculous consoles that are out there.
Yeah, this is really awkward to say.
Or that was the initial thought, at least. I don't know.
Yeah. It'll keep those crazy consoles in check.
Yeah, this will show them. You show them, Zed. You get in there.
Yeah. Zed's going to solve everybody's problems.
As weird as it is, I
Zed's
think I am going to lean towards Zed being better, I think.
JZ.
You guys agree with that?
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
So does that land it under... Does that land it under below average at the bottom then?
Yes, I think so.
All right. Next one up.
All right. We've got load testing. Operation cost 0, influence 5. 5 influence. When the runner's next turn begins, he or she loses 1 click. I really like this card. My personal opinion on this is that in the hands of a person who can build a really crafty and skilled deck, you can use the timing on this card to pull off some pretty janky stuff. Plus, it's not limit once per. So you have a couple of them. I think it's a pretty neat card. I think it's got some really good some options for skilled play. I'll leave you at that.
Are you guys? Do you have the stats on this card? I'm not. Netrunner DB is not accurately portraying it.
Oh, as far as like the artwork or anything? Or?
Yeah, I can't see the artwork, and it says it's saying in the card list, it's a 5 influence, but when I click on the actual load up page, where never mind, it is 5 influence here.
Yeah, it's 5 influence. You don't want this card in like.
No, so basically this is this is a one-time current.
Yeah, it's just an operation. You drop it.
Yeah,
next
but
turn, runner loses a click.
I mean, we can equate it or compare it to enhanced login though.
I guess.
I mean that's the click tax. Oh, this is the card art.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, he's testing that load.
Yeah. This is weird.
So, have you seen that meme where it's? I think it's like a C Lab guy, and the meme is usually something like when someone tells you something you already know and you have to act surprised, and the first frame is him like this, and the next one he's like that's what this reminds me of, is that stupid meme. Every time I see this card art, that silly, stupid meme.
I do think this is powerful in HB and the whole lose a click stuff, and I think it plays into what they've always wanted HB to do, but has never been there in the click taxing deck. But I think popped at the right time. Yeah, this can definitely be really beneficial, but I'm not sure that it's dance a jig kind of exciting. To me, this card is just above average to me.
I'll put it in the above average column, but I like it like high up on the above average column.
You like it high up.
Hollis, what do you got?
Well, so what I'm thinking is I feel like HB in general has a lot of well, not a lot, but they have enough tools, I think, within their toolkit to
make someone lose a click.
Well, I think to get a big advantage because of this card. Someone in the chat mentioned using enhanced logon protocol, and so when we look at enhanced logon protocol, they're automatically going to lose a click just for for that first run they make every turn that isn't with a run ability, which is amazing to me. But on top of ELP, imagine as Jean mentions in chat, imagine taking something like your Fetch Out 2, Fetch Out 3, or anything like that, and early in the game as a rush style, when the ELP is in play, go, ice, agenda, discard, or load testing, go. Now they start the turn with 3 clicks, and they're gonna spend 2 clicks just to make the run. So unless they have the run event, unless it's like the inside job, they're not going to be able to click through your Red Ice that's got a pretty good res cost ratio to the strength that it provides. To me, this is pretty interesting because it means that it gives some extra strength to cards like Eli that are very inexpensive. That normally the runner, if they really want to grab that quick agenda you're trying to score, they could click through. But the fact remains is that if you have something like ELP and you've got a card like this where they lose that click. And Eli is effectively a 3-credit, stopper. Like they have to have the barrier. They got to get the barrier breaker in a very few clicks, put it in play and break with the right amount of money. So early game, you can just rush something out really quick. Or it's not even about rush even necessarily. If the runner's credits dip low, you can just kind of play that game with them where it's like, all right, well, I see you're at 6 credits. Don't think you can quite get to the 14 or the 12 when you only have really 1 click to make an action before you're going to spend 2 to make the run. Like you have very little opportunity to take advantage of those clicks on your turn to get in. Yeah, and I'm gonna take advantage of that.
I think
it's tough to get through that load.
Yeah, got to balance it, man. I think that when you look at these cards in the right situation and when the wind is blowing just right and and the ice is just set perfect, right? I think when all that happens, these cards you can be like, oh, this is a great card, like this is a good card, but thinking in the law of averages, I just think that you're not going to have that opportunity to drop that every time that you draw this card up. And the fact that in all the examples that were given, they're like, oh, this is great because you do this with this card and you do this and with this card, because it's part of this combo and the board state has to be up. That's why I can't really push this into good or great at the moment.
HP is the combo faction though, man. They live and die by the combos.
Man. I don't even have any combo jokes.
It's Killer Instinct up in there.
Yeah. Mortal Kombat.
They're gonna ultra that shit out. It's gonna.
So Hollis, where are you thinking after that spiel? Where are you saying?
So, I think this card's really difficult to tell, to be honest, because we haven't really seen a card like this that's so aggressive.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really difficult. HP has aggressive cards, but cards like this, I haven't seen. Normally, when we see lose a click, we see that out of MBN, right?
Yeah.
We don't, as far as non-ice,
right?
We see that out of MBN with Victoria Jenkins.
Correct, but then there was a risk on that, right? Because you can go and you trash her, you get points off of her and shit like that.
Right.
This is just operation. I feel like this card's very skill intensive.
Yeah, I don't know. Part of me
I feel like in the hands of a really
wants to run the
skilled
current
player,
better.
They can do some pretty nasty stuff with this card.
Yeah, if you can definitely read board state and get timings and stuff right, you're definitely doing it. That's why I'm saying I really think it's this is the highest above average right now.
Yeah, I'm all for that. 100%.
Cool. I'm down with it.
Okay.
Cool. Drop the load right on top above average.
Yep. Make the shift and adjust. All right, what do we got up next, guys?
All right. Well, after awkward wording, Bloom. Bloom is a code gate observer. Remember those? Hope you're paying attention, folks. Res 2, Strength 3, Influence 2. 2 subroutines. You may install a piece of ice from HQ, protecting another server, ignoring all costs. You may install a piece of ice from HQ in the next innermost position, protecting this server, ignoring all costs. This is obviously a piece of ice meant to be played with Ag Infusion. And so I feel like in that deck, it's pretty cool. Outside of that, I think that's the deck it has a place in currently. It's strength 3 code gates though.
Why?
That's usually a death knell right now.
Yeah,
for a lot of
right
ice.
now.
Why? Why does this keep? Why is this still a thing? Stop making 3 strength code gates and leaving Yogg in the meta. Stop it.
What do you think if it wasn't? Like, are you happy with these subroutines?
I mean, they're like.
I mean, you can. To me, like.
So here's what's neat about it, right? So the first one, sure, you can install piece of ice to another server. The cool thing is you ignore the install costs, so that's pretty cool. But then the other one is you can install a piece of ice from HQ and the next innermost position protecting this server, ignoring all costs. That's pretty neat.
Yeah.
So it's a neat effect, and as I said, like in Ag Infusion, seems really cool. Gives you a way to keep putting ice out, and then man, it would be cool if there was like another card that you pick a lot of that stuff back up. I don't know, but yeah, it'd be cool. That's it.
This is this reminds me of Howler. Okay?
Oh boy.
No.
What?
Good old Howler.
Wow.
Didn't Howler installed behind, right?
It did. You went and grabbed a Bioroid,
Yeah,
dropped it
I mean-
behind Howler, but then it de-resed after. Right?
Well, yeah, but
but I mean, Howler was a trap ice.
yeah.
So.
I mean, look
Yeah.
how awesome that was.
Automatically better though than code gates.
Yeah, I mean, it was a lot harder to break Howler.
But I just mean for the sake, yeah. I mean that is true. But I just mean for the sake of it, it's doing the same thing, bringing in ice. I don't know. It's costed okay influence wise to try and do something out of faction, but I don't really know if anything is going to, other than Ag Infusion, because you're just going to want to feed and move things around, and you're going to want to set things up on other servers. But I'm just not impressed with Bloom.
Yeah.
I'm trying to really not be so negative on this one.
I mean, maybe when again like Ag Infusion comes out and you see some deck ideas with it, maybe it'll have a spot. But Streak 3 Code Gate's just rough right now. It's hard because the gimmick's very unlikely to ever fire, to ever go off.
Yeah, I mean, and there's nothing that we've seen that really needs to be so positional, right? Like I installing as the innermost.
Yeah, but Ag Infusion lets you trash the outermost.
Yeah,
right?
but I'm
And
just
then move them
I'm
to
just
another.
saying, like, there's I was talking about like out of faction wise and stuff like that, right? Like there's
Yeah.
like I was saying, like there's, other than Ag Infusion, there's really
Nothing
no,
else that really matters on the positioning and
Yeah.
stuff like that. I mean, unless you're rocking that really sweet like Sensei deck, you're trying to get that guy with all those in the runs, right?
you're just
Right.
trying to chum something up, sneak a chum in
There you go, man. That's right. We're just throwing all these really awkward, random pieces of ice. They're engine techie.
Yeah, put the chum out. Then obviously they're going to come through and not fall for this trick again, and you're going to be able to install another piece of ice.
Yeah.
Got 'em.
Got him. I'm in there.
Yeah, I don't know, guys. To me, this is it's not bad. I don't think, because of the
I like it in below average.
Yeah, I do too. But the only reason I'm saying it's not bad is because of the saving install costs. I mean, there's the silver lining.
And it may have some play with the new ID,
Yeah. Hollis,
but until that's released.
You got to talk about some bloom bloom pow.
No, I have nothing else to add. You can move this to as low as you are willing to move it.
Corey, where do you think then?
I mean, I would put it in the bottom of the below average column.
I'm happy with sitting it there initially for now too.
Cool. All right, we're gonna keep on rolling.
Yeah.
Replanting. Operation double, cost 1, influence 3. As an additional cost to play this operation, spend a click. Add one of your installed cards HQ. Install 2 cards from HQ, ignoring all costs.
Jiteki Mind Games! Let's go!
Mind freak.
Got him!
That's good.
Got him.
It's an interesting card.
It is, but it also is not.
Yeah.
That's what this card is. Toshiyuki Sakai. That's what this card is. It's just,
it's just operation form.
Yeah, operation form Toshiyuki Sakai.
I mean,
hey, no one ever played that card. Let's just play this one.
There's some neat applications of this, right? Like every now and then, people who are doing like P or something, right? You'll get cheeky and you'll throw down like a shock or a snare and see if they run it, and then if they don't check it, then you can just like put it right back in your hand with a replant. It's the problem I see though is like finding deck space for it, because if you're going to play with a lot of these tricks, then are you also going to be able to find the space to do like multiple replantings, or is it like a one-of card that maybe you play with that you can pull a gimmick with?
Yeah,
it's an interesting card.
I can see the value. I can see some value to where you've maybe mooshed a card.
Yeah.
And maybe it's a trap. And they haven't taken the bait. So now you just have a card like a Cerebral Overrider, a June Bug.
Isn't this like a really bad way to pull the Blue Sun trick, though, where it's like snare, and then they're like, oh, it's a snare. I'll put it back in my hand. What is it now? Oh, it's still a snare. I haven't gotten you yet.
but yeah, I mean, to me, that's kind of what this card would do, right? Like if you have an advanced trap down, and they're not running it, and it's just sitting there, and it basically now it's no longer momentum. You didn't advance it or score it, so they know it's not a trap. There's no reason to leave it on the board. At this point, you're like, all right, well, I guess we're replanting. We'll put it back in the hand, and I'll install 2 brand new cards. One of them could be the card I just had. I don't know.
Yeah.
But even with that, it's like, well, what are you doing? Like, what are you actually doing?
Yeah.
At that point, if you're gonna play that mind game, you might as well take it to full mind game. Install the agenda. Install the 5/3 agenda, or moosh in the 5/3 agenda with 4 advancements, and just leave it on the table. If you're gonna play the mind game enough to where you're gonna advance a trap that does nothing, and you want to return that back, just straight up mind game them and be like, yeah, bro, I had 9 points worth of agendas on the board the whole time. You never ran it.
Yeah.
But to me, I really like the fact that if you're gonna play advanceable traps, and you're playing Engine Techie, I think you have to be prepared for people not to run them. And I would rather run a Trick of Light just instead.
Yeah. Now, you can use this on other stuff.
Now,
it's not just assets and stuff like that.
I was going to say
like anything with it.
The best to me, the best thing that comes to mind is using this in terms of, and this is where I think the value comes out of this. I like this better as getting ice on the board.
Yeah. Do you think something like RP could maybe use it for setup faster?
I do. I really like the fact, even when something becomes dead, or that there's something no longer needed, like if you are in the state of like RP, or even something, if I have an agenda in my archives, and I have to ice it up like with a good quick piece of ice, at least I can take the ice away from a server that doesn't need it anymore, and then put that ice back into play where I need something fattening up. So I haven't wasted that ice, right? Like sometimes think of it as a different style of Friends in High Places.
Yeah, could you also use this maybe like to reload your like Adonis and Eve campaigns?
Mm.
Like you could just like it gets close to running out, and then you just like I'll replant it. You pick it up, and then you install 2 cards. So then you're like Bricker Bay, this back, res.
Yeah, but we've also seen cards that would give you that ability before, but this obviously is more versatile. So obviously the double
it is a double.
is
So it
blah,
does count.
right? But but I yeah. I do
Yeah,
like
I think the double really like cramps it a bit.
yeah, but
That's the
I do
problem.
like it for ice. I do like it for moving ice.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I'm below averaging this card.
Well, I'm not saying that moves it phenomenally, but I'm just saying if you're rather than move traps around and stuff like that. Like if you're gonna play the trap game, I think go all out. And even Hollis, you said that one, it's like pick the card back up, replace it with a card, and like I forget what that dude's name was. I think is that what you were hinting at before?
Yeah.
Right. So I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I don't like that. That card before, so I don't like this repick a advanceable trap up, because I always look at like what's the cost of that. Like I put the trap down, and then I advance it 3 times. Now what am I going to do? Pick it up, put it back down, and advance it again, and you're not going to run it.
Yeah.
Like, how much credits do you have to waste on hoping they're going to run a card?
You
right?
just keep moving your side field around, man. Your psychic
Jesus.
field.
Yeah.
You just keep shuffling around. But where's it at? Where's the psychic field at, bro?
Yeah,
But
It's
dude,
in here somewhere. Yeah.
they can't miss a side field though. If your
Yeah.
whole deck is side fields.
Yeah.
oh,
Roll safe.
Oh.
Roll safe, bro. Roll safe.
It's great. So they index you, and they're like, "Wait, what's going on
Judge?
here?" All right. So my vote is below average.
I think it's below average as well, but I don't think it's near the bottom.
I don't. I would put it above Bloom.
Oh, above Bloom?
I would even probably put it above Zed.
Yeah, that's where I was going.
What? Okay, do it. I'm
Yeah.
with you guys. I'm with you guys. Let's go.
Thanks, Hollis.
Let's go.
We got some more cards to go through. So we're in. We ready? We ready to keep rolling?
Yeah.
All right. Hey, now we're in the glorious fields of yellow. Ambien. CPC generator. This is an asset. It's an advertisement. Res 0, Trash 2, Influence 3. The first time the runner spends click to gain 1 credit each turn, not through a card effect, gain a credit. So initially when I saw this, I was like, oh my god, this is a pretty sweet card for Spark. It still is a pretty neat card for Spark, because if you get it first turn and you res it, and you're like, lose a credit, and then that runner's like, you son of a bitch, I want to spend a click to gain a credit so I can play this sure gamble. I hate you and your whole family. And then you're like, haha, sucker, I got a credit out of you. And that's what it did.
Yeah, but
And that's what this card does.
so like I said it before, without looking what's coming with the most wanted list and assuming that Temujin's going to be on that, how many times does a runner click for credits, man? This day and age.
Sure.
I mean,
And the
people
thing is
people
about this
still play
too-
sure gamble. Now Temujin is like in almost every deck. Now they got those other, fake ass
And
deuces
knowing-
wild. So
And the bargain brand deuces.
yeah.
Yeah.
Deuces.
and the thing
What's the
about that,
opposite
like,
of
knowing-
wild? Deuces tamed, right there.
Yeah. Knowing how rare that happens, then why make this card like limited to just the first time each turn? Like, do you think it would have been insane if it would have been like every time the runner clicks for credit? Maybe. I don't know. I guess because you can have multiple of these res. So if you get them to click once, you can be like, "Ooh, I make like 2 credits. I make like 3 credits." I mean, I will say, I feel like this is an asset. If you res it, it's very unlikely the runner's going to do anything about it. They'll probably leave it on the table.
Yeah. Yeah.
What would you compare this to? Deuce is
Uh,
mild. I love that.
Jesus,
Deuce is
man.
mild.
Fantastic.
Ben with the save. Shoots, he
Yeah.
scores. Um, for some reason, I want to think about like earning money off turn. I think of Sundew. So I don't know if maybe this is something along the lines of like a reworked Sundew.
That's bad.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
bad. Yeah, that's bad. Okay.
I'm gonna hollis it up right here for a moment.
Woo! Put it in. Slide it in where you think it needs to go.
Yeah.
I'll tell you where it needs to go.
Yeah.
I will tell
Hollis,
you where
Hollis, what's your thoughts on this guy then?
I will tell you where to go.
Tell me, man. Preach.
Even yeah, I feel my sentiment is very much shared with Corey. Even in Spark Agency, where you have the potential to have the really early like credit game denial, where you get to res the packet pain. Haha, I got you. You lose one, and then you res this asset. You're like, haha, did you gain a credit? You lose. I gain one. Like, and then you lose one. Like all that's fine. It's fun. And I agree. It does help. It does start a shift of tempo loss very early in the game. But if we're going to be totally honest, the current runner economy can be bumped up so quickly by cards like Temujin Contract.
That's what I'm saying too.
Yeah, like it just makes it really difficult to think that like the reduction of 1 or 2 credits is like a super big smash in the beginning of the game. If we were talking pre-Temujin and really pre a whole bunch of other things, pre-Faust, where money was not as big as a deal because there's an alternate way to break ice, then sure, clicking for credits might be a little bit more common. But now I think that the runner economy is such that there's a lot of investment into other cards to help generate economy on a per turn basis. So you quite often may not even ever have to use it.
Yeah. So maybe also too is where I'm thinking of this trade-off, right? Where you get something, I get something. Like the cards that were supporting Polena, like give them draw, I'll get money kind of thing, right? Like, but it's again, it's weaker, right? Like I don't really care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like the card itself like erred really to the side of caution.
Yeah,
to
they
make itself where it's like it's
played it
something
too
that you could
safe,
use
right?
with Spark. But I think it. Granted, I mean, does NBN really need any more like really crazy busted tools? So this is what they get now. Thanks. Yeah. But yeah, I want to probably drop this card in
Here it comes.
yeah,
Here it comes. In.
in bad.
Yeah! We made it!
Yeah.
All right, I'm definitely. I don't know if I was going there, but I don't think I'll be. I think I'll be outvoted. So where are you guys sitting it?
Ben was like, "This is a great card if you played Timmy Wog's meta." Yeah. It's probably true. You're probably right.
Do you want to put it
Absolutely.
under the plaza or above the plaza? Is it better or worse?
I would put it above the plaza.
All right. Thanks for
I'll
at
let it
least.
be. I'll let it be king of the bad.
All right. Thanks for at least saving the grace there.
Yeah.
All right. Next
I will
up.
say-
Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
Just real quick, the card does the few positive things about the card are that I think it's a low impact card and it's intended to be, and that makes the res cost of it amazing.
Yeah. Correct.
Being a zero res is amazing.
And it's one of those things like it's very unlikely the runner's going to go do anything about it. They're very likely just to leave that thing on the table.
And I think that
So-
would be good if there wasn't, if we said the runner's economy wasn't in the state that it was right now. If it was harder to get money and people were clicking for credits on the runner side more, I think. Would you say the Corp clicks for credits more than the runner?
Probably.
I think so, but I think that's
I think
more
it-
of to control the pace and to not like go crazy with drawing up and just to control
Right, and I think sometimes it could just be
board
just
state and
because-
stuff.
Yeah, it could just be because you end up having like an action, and you've already kind of set up what you need to do, and you don't just want to draw a card.
Yeah.
and so you just click for a credit. Whatever.
Yeah, so maybe if it was flipped, Maybe if it was gain a credit every time the Corp clicks for a credit, that would be something crazy.
Yeah. So,
But
yeah. All right, you ready?
It is
Keep
what it
going.
is. Yeah. Hit me up with
Free lunch.
yeah.
All right, so this is Ice Codegate Res 3 Strength 4
Great name.
Influence 3 Hosted Power Counter. The runner loses 1 credit.
Oh man.
2 subroutines. Place 1 power counter on free lunch. So this ice might as well say runner spends 2 credits.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's
And
all
he's-
at once, or so this is where I was thinking about this too, is that it's almost like an advanced pop-up window. It's got a little bit of ties to what Toll Booth is doing. But what's cool on this is I think the paidability window,
Yeah.
right? Because you don't have to be running on this server if I have a couple tokens on it to use it.
Correct.
So I can legitimately F with your math a little.
Yeah.
A little.
A little.
But this ice right now, so if you see this ice early game, it's not keeping them out of anything. Because they're going into it.
No, it's not.
But on the flip side, the runner, not sure they're really wanting to spend money to break anything on this. Unless they're just gonna like ice carver Yogg. But then they're like, oh, I'm in it. Every single time.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, maybe you get enough of these, you can play around with some really nice credit denial stuff, but I don't know. I feel like this ice has a hard time making it.
So my initial thoughts here and stuff like that is, yeah, I agree with you guys. But then, the other little Jameson appears on my shoulder, the angel one, and is like, okay, hold on, it's not too bad because it's going to build power counters up, and if they run somewhere else, yeah, it pops some power counters, mess with their math. Maybe they can't get in. Maybe you're playing that NAPD. They have the math all the way to the end, and boom, hosted power counters. They lose some money. They can't steal this stuff. Blah blah blah. But then I think the world that we live in, and I'm the kind of guy that will bank up a couple power counters, and someone will just destroy this ice.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
So yeah.
And then they ate your lunch.
Yeah. So
Done.
yeah, then I'm paying full price for this lunch.
Yeah. It's
No
it's not good.
coupon.
I'm not a no coop. I'm not a big fan of this ice. I'm gonna put it in the not a fan column.
Not a fan.
Do we not have that one?
No, we don't have that. We only have bad and terrible. Where do you want to play it in the bad?
Yeah, I would put it towards the bottom of bad.
You guys don't think though? Haven't I talked it up to at least a below average? No. Look at his face.
Actually.
I
So
think
what's funny about this, Corey? I think this is the first time that we are on different wavelengths as far as potential. I think maybe.
Oh my God, Hollis, what?
Okay, let's do it.
Yeah,
Let's do it.
talk to me, man.
Okay.
Talk to me.
So the card's biggest problem is being a 4 strength. It's easily yoggable, right? With a data sucker counter or anything else like that, it's easily yoggable. Yes, that's a problem. But being a 3 to res for a 4 strength to me is very attractive. Let me tell you why. Because the available breaker you could possibly use that is not Yogg to get past these subroutines would cost more than simply giving me the power counters. And I feel like, in general, having a card that costs me 3, that basically tells me you always pay 2, even though you go past it, is pretty darn significant. To me, it's as significant as, well, not as, but it's akin to the way I look at it as like Architect. Architect is an amazing piece of ice. And no, this card does not have the same subroutines as Architect. But at some point during like the higher tier of play, you know that card is not going to fire. They're going to break every sub. And it's not a super taxing ice, it's just a consistently taxing one. Because you cannot afford to let those subroutines fire. This card it has a similar tax, 2 credits, but in a different way. It doesn't make sense for you to afford breaking these subroutines when you can just effectively give me the ability to make you pay 2. So, looking at it that way, I like it. I like it enough to think that it's not necessarily in the bad column.
And the fact that they can be saved and used, right, Hollis? Come on.
Yeah, like to me that now, granted, in Cipher world, that's very difficult. That's a hard sell. But I think that there is something to be said where if I have anything more than 2 counters, an immediate loss of credits is kind of significant. Like, look at my opponent saying, hey, where are you at? Like 10? That's fine. -4. You're at 6. It's kind of a big deal because that means it's going to affect, okay, do I play the Breaker or do I play the Temujin first? Because the idea was for me to play Temujin with 10 credits. I could play the Temujin, make my run, put the paperclip in play with the money I have available, break with the last few credits I have, gain money off Temujin. But now you just mess my math all up. So now I have to figure out, okay, do I play the Temujin, put it on a different server, make that run? Now I can run the server I want to, pop out the paperclip, or I may or may not have enough.
Yeah,
like
exactly. And now, Corey,
playing with that's interesting.
Messing with Hollis's math, isn't that reason enough to move it up?
So what if they're just using Faust?
No. No. You know what that's the equivalent of? I just made 7-minute abs, and you tell me you're coming out with 6-minute abs. You can't do it. You can't play that card, man.
So what you're saying is, you think you finally found the ice, another piece to play in your Helium-3 deposit deck.
Yes, I did.
Because you can put more power counters on it.
I made it, guys. I made it. So I guess really the question I should be asking myself. This is the question for all of us. This is serious.
I would rather run this than Bloom, and we said that Bloom was below average.
Would you rather run it in CPC Generator?
Yes.
Curveball, maybe.
Yeah. All right, you two figure it out.
Of course, wait, white flag.
Yeah. Oh.
I think this is better than Bloom. I think this is better than Narine. I think this is better than Zed. I don't think it's better than the Replanting.
I don't think it's much better than CPC. If that makes a difference.
I think this is middle of the below averages right now, with potential to go higher.
I think the potential for it is to go lower, but but I think initially it goes middle. I think it's more likely this card gets shifted down than up.
I'll live in the now and take that win, Hollis. I'm gonna live in the now and take that as a win, buddy.
All right. Okay, so we got it. We ready?
Yeah. Next up.
By the way, that card had one more weakness.
Oh yeah.
Sorry. You can't lose money if you don't have any.
Yeah. Pro tip, Hollis.
Pro tip.
All right. So we're gonna move on to MCA Informant.
Oh, on MC Hammer's birthday.
That's right, man. MCA, it's his informant.
MC Adam, yeah.
So you may have heard a little bit of controversy about this card. Let me describe it first. We'll get in. We'll speak to the controversy. So Operation Terminal calls
is it a
for
terminal
Influence
directive?
2. After you resolve this operation, end your action phase.
Boom.
Install MCA Informant on a connection as a hosted condition counter with the text. The runner is considered to have one additional tag. The host connection gains click 2 credits. Trash this card.
Oh, damn.
So there's been a little bit of the old chatter about someone discovering that for some stupid reason, Corporate Troubleshooter has the connection keyword.
Oh,
and
damn.
So far, it looks like it's been ruled that you can res Corporate Troubleshooter and MCA Informant your Corporate Troubleshooter to put a tag on the runner. And then the runner has to actually get in and trash Corporate Troubleshooter. It's dumb. I hope they rot it. That's all I got to say about that.
Yeah, not the design intent. Probably not the design intent.
Yeah. So outside of that, it's an amazing card if you want to get rid of Aaron. He's an Aaron Marin remover. Aaron. is an informant.
Hey, Aaron.
Hey, Aaron, you better get out of here, Aaron.
Hey, Aaron, may Aaron.
Yeah, May Aaron. Telling all my secrets. Give him my location. Look at him.
That's true.
Yeah. So, it's cool. I mean, if MBN is looking for a card to try to get rid of some of those troublesome connections, it got one. That's it. It got a card that'll help do that.
So
the runner gets a turn to react and try to get rid of it, pitch it, deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
If not, they get punished.
So, this card, because it can only get put on a connection, that does hinder it a little bit. But there are some big name connections in the play right now. Aaron, Criminal, and I guess everything else. Beth is there.
Yep.
We got technical writers, tech traders, for some criminal stuff. The one that's shady, Street Peddler, is a connection. But I mean, if you put it on that, obviously when they pop the Street Peddler, this is just going, right? So,
yeah,
right. But I mean, there's lots of really good targets. I think it's a big thing to bring up. Like, it's a great card. If you want another way to try to land a tag, it's cool. It makes the runner have to adapt. Like, you want something you throw at the end of your turn that you're like, you have to deal with this. Do you want to get rid of this connection and trash it? Because that's what you got to do. I can get this off the table.
yeah. Cotty
connection. Yeah. I mean, film critic, right?
Yeah, film critic. Yeah.
So, I mean, lots of awesome choices. It's a card that you pretty much have a target the majority of the time if it's in your hand, because a lot of those cards are played in the majority of decks.
I think the influence of 2 is reasonable as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And if we're gonna be real, also, like, I thought this card.
Why wouldn't be? Why wouldn't we be?
Yeah. Always be real. No, I mean, I feel like the card's expensive. It costs 4, but you're also taxing the runner a click and 2 credits. So
and their connection.
Yeah, like to me the cost seems fair, even if it is pretty expensive. I'd like to. This is something I want to play with more, I think.
And if you think about it too, like if you time it, like you eat up some of their turn, right? Because maybe they really wanted to use something off that connection, but now they got to worry about it. And there's a lot of interesting little plays with this too. Like you play it, they're considered to have a tag, their turn starts, you res like a zealous judge, you do something silly that all of a sudden, like, okay, now I have more problems I have to deal with because now this isn't going to get rid of the tag. I've now landed away from them to get this. So there's some interesting dynamics that can pop up.
Sounds to me that you're leaning towards something positive here.
Oh, I am. I would lean this card at least in the good category.
I like it as well.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa. Whoa. Is that what we do now? We just take cards we read off the internet and we just throw them in the good pile? Is that how the good works?
I wish.
It didn't work for free lunch, did it?
I wish there was more good stuff out there.
We're just throwing cards in good piles. Man, you guys.
I mean, even if we were to errata the silly corporate troubleshooter ruling, this is still a good card.
Very, very high above average.
Nah, man, it's good. I'm going to vote for it for good. Put it top of the good column. Top of good.
What?
Top of good.
Hold on, let's talk about this. Hold on.
That's what we're here for.
Good.
Yeah.
So, how about? Okay, I think the card is above average, and I think it's in the middle upper tier of above average. I don't think it's quite good yet. I feel like it's the card that I would want to bump up, as opposed to start in good.
Better than load testing?
Man, yeah, it is better than load testing.
Cool. Where's load testing?
Above average.
Don't judge me. Let's
go to the board.
Put it on the board.
All right.
Oh man.
Let him get in good, Hollis. Let's let it get on the good. Good column's lonely, man. Look how lonely that good column is.
I'm making a notable
It wants a card so bad.
Do you
I'm
want
making a
do you want a Barry
objection.
Bonds? Do you want a Barry Bonds asterisk on this one then, Hollis? We'll put it in good.
Yes.
We'll put it in
Yeah, put
good
it in
and
good. Put it in good enough.
good.
This is like good and then and like put a parenthetical enough right afterwards. Good enough.
All right, next on the list.
All right. Good old Clyde Van Wright.
What?
Clyde Van Wright, man. It's Van Wright. Van Wright. His asset, executive, Res 2, Trash 3, Influence 2. When your turn begins, the runner must play a 1 credit or trash the top card in the stack. So this is the card you would play with Scorpios when it comes out?
It ain't out yet.
Yeah. So this is a card.
Yep. It's a card.
Yep. I mean, so in fairness, it is costed the way an asset should be, with a pretty impactful ability that's a pretty low res but easy to trash. I mean, no one likes having stuff getting milled off top of their deck, but I'm not feeling it.
Yeah. I want you to know that the flavor text on this card is what I'm going to say to each of you when we're about to place, like, decide where it goes. And the flavor text is, you have 2 choices. Do what I asked, or make me ask again. It's your choice, but if I have to ask again, it will go badly for you. Like, that is the kind of, like, Clyde is a badass. Just because of the flavor text. Clyde's a badass.
So
He's almost as much as a badass as Rita.
But he'll be fine if all you do is when you ask again, you just give him a credit.
Woo! Okay. Ooh, shots fired.
And then he's okay with it.
Yeah, he's fine.
He's like, cool, man.
He said
so
fine.
so does this? So we're happy with the res to trash, right? We're happy with that.
It's fine.
Are you guys happy with the influence of 2?
Yeah, actually.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fine. Because maybe you can find some ways to play around with it. Like maybe you could splash this in PU.
Are you happy with the runner paying a credit every turn?
It's a tax, so they either get taxed through money or they get taxed off of the card.
Yeah, right.
I don't.
So because I don't understand, like, if we're like oh, this is good by itself, this is good by itself. How come we take so many good things and then put it together? Like, you think, peanut butter's good, chocolate's good, and Reese's peanut butters are good, right? Like, if you put so much good stuff together, it should be good. Why is it going so far down?
I think the 1 credit to ignore the ability is what ruins it.
Like, what about in our mill style deck? What about if someone put this in Potential Unleashed?
Then they should.
I mean, I know that if we look at another card that was like this, that lived in a niche moment, was City Surveillance, right? Like, City Surveillance was way crazier, costed like 5 to res, 3 to trash, and that was 4 influence. But when the runner's turn begins, give them a tag unless they pay a credit. So that was still kind of taxing them a credit or giving them a tag. So it was like, this is now they're trashing a card.
Yeah. Well,
like, the only downfall of this is I think you have to have somewhere for it to stick on the board.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's the downfall of any asset, because I think if you resed it, you just can't res this unprotected, or they'll come for you. So no one's going to leave it out and just keep trashing the top of their stack. No one's going to pay 3.
Yeah. Yeah. So I vote below average.
Oh, Jesus.
Sorry, I was
Wow.
the show, man.
Savage. He was like, you know what?
I'm
We just shit on the
pouring
card.
my heart out here.
So
I appreciate all the comments.
All right, I thought it was the bottom of average right now until we get a feel for it, because I like I said, I like the res to trash. I like the ability. I don't know how many times you can get it to fire. That remains to be seen, but I think this works. I would experiment with this in a potential Unleashed.
Mm-hmm. Hollis,
Uh,
you want to give him bottom of average? You want to give him bottom average?
Oh, he's wrestling with internal demons right here.
so someone in chat is making a few good points here. Like,
Is
it
someone
does combo-
someone on your show is making some good points here?
Uh,
But tell us.
basically, like, the card does combo with I almost said Barney Stinson, but it's Brian Stinson. Where you're trying to force the runner to lose money, and then as a result, cards like Brian Stinson become usable now because they've either spent time trashing the card because they don't want to lose a credit every turn, or they just been losing the credit every turn. As a result, you get to play your hedge funds and your restructures using Brian Stinson and gaining a big economic lead within the game. But there's also sort of this win-win scenario. So basically, that card effectively says, do you want to pay one now, or do you want to just come trash right now for 3? To me, this is the equivalent of like the weird dilemma when it comes to, well, it's a little different, but like the weird dilemma when it comes to cards like Pad Campaign, because it's like, all right, you can if you trash Pad Campaign now, I've at a net loss of 1 credit immediately after the res. So really, this is the most hurtful time to trash Pad. But maybe you can't afford to go all out and trash it right now. Maybe you got to let me gain 1. Vice versa. Maybe you have to just lose 1 credit because you're trying to get another plan together, and then you'll come back and trash this card. And that's still good for the Corp side because any money you lose, if I'm a Corp and you're a runner, any money you lose is fantastic for me. So I don't know.
So you gonna put it on bottom average?
At the bottom of average, I think it's an average card right now.
Yeah, man. It can be average anywhere in the average column, like the bottom.
Oh my god, it's so savage.
What, Hollis? Are you going higher than average?
No. I think I'm debating basically if I want to put it below average or not.
He just did this like big explanation.
Yeah,
Oh, I thought you were more on my side, but
And then he's like, just
I
kidding.
would-
I
I
was
would-
talking it off the bad column. That's all that did.
oh my god.
I would put it on the bottom of average.
Okay.
Okay.
I think it's
Let's
right.
take it. Let's take it.
All right, give me the next one here, fellas.
This is gonna be a quick one. Watchtower, Ice, Code Gate, Res 4, String 3, Influence 3, Search R&D for a card, add to HQ, Shuffle R&D. String 3, Code Gate. Bad. Let's keep it. Stop it. Stop making these cards. Stop it.
Stop it.
It's a really cool ability. It's a really awesome ability. On a Res 4, String 3, Code Gate.
But hey,
No. Here it comes. Here it comes in. Talk of the Watchtower. Sails in.
you know what I can say? I can say that they've made Watchtower better. I feel like if this card was earlier, like a couple sets earlier, that subroutine would have said search a card for R&D and reveal it, then add it to HQ.
Here's what I'm getting.
Yeah, right. I like the search effect. I don't know how many times it's going to fire. I don't know if at 4, is it worth the gamble? Are you going to put it in, roll the dice?
I mean, you'll never res it if it's not going to fire, right? If they have a breaker and you're like, oh, it's only going to cost 1 credit to break this, cost 2 credits.
Right.
But
I'm
4 to res this.
That's
to
what I'm
make them
saying.
break it?
I don't know how many times this is going to go.
Yeah. It's a really cool idea for a card. Just, it needed to probably cost a little bit more. At least be a higher strength to have a more likely chance of firing.
What are you saying? Let me hear what Hollis has to say about it all along the Watchtower here.
God.
Yeah.
Stop doing this.
What? Giving you a chance to speak?
No,
Yeah.
not you. No, no. Stop making the threshold for code gates. Here's the thing. I think 3 is probably a very common average strength for ice in Netrunner, but it is blown away when there is a card that breaks a ice of that subtype for free if it's 3 or lower. Like, if anything, if Yogg isn't going to go anywhere, the math or the consideration for the strength of cards that are of code gates needs to change. Code gates need to hover more closely to 4 strength to be out of the range of Yogg, or they need to be and this is where I kind of backpedal a bit, more appropriately placed in their power level for being at 3 strength. And I don't think this card does any better.
I couldn't have said that better myself.
Yeah, I like you. You cannot get a better. I don't think you can get a better sub for other than search your deck for a card and put it in your hand. Any card. And even then, that means, think about that. With the text, search your deck for any card, put it in your hand. Don't reveal it. Just put it in your hand.
That's pretty powerful.
That's very powerful, and that still does not make this card good enough to include it in the deck because Yogg exists.
Yeah.
So now I do think that the positive merits are. Let's say they don't have Yogg. This is a card that you cannot let fire. You cannot let this fire. Right? Like, you cannot. So the card's always going to get broken. Whether it's a Gordian Blade, a Zoo Keymaster, a Passport, a Peregrine, or whatever it is. Like, no matter what you're using to break this piece of ice, you would never want this to fire ever, not one time. So if they don't have Yogg, yeah.
Then they're spending like 1 or 2 credits to break it.
They're spending 1 or 2 credits to break it. Like, it feels really weird. Like, I don't think I would want this particular piece of ice in my deck over something like Enigma that can end the run. It's binary, and so if you don't have Yogg, at least it's still a gear check for Yogg and anything else. And if it's not a gear check, I can at least end the run and throw an agenda behind it and try to score. Searching my deck for a card is good, but I don't know if I can justify it if it doesn't have an ETR. Come on, guys.
And Enigma's cheaper to res.
Yeah.
It's 4 to res.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was super jazzed about this card. Like, when I first saw the ability, I was like, oh my god, this is so awesome. And then I was like, oh, strength 3. It felt like deflated. It's bad.
This is this flavor text here is actually coded for the if you wanted to play the chords of All Along the Watchtower. So just side note there. All right. So Hollis, where's it going?
I'm scared to even give an answer.
Do you want me to run the list and then we can decide easier this way?
Yeah.
Is it better? Is it better than Bloom?
Yeah.
Is it better than Narine? Corey, you can feel free to chime in as well.
Yes.
It's better than Narine.
No.
See?
No, it's
See?
Oh, really? Oh, we're
It's not.
low. We're low then.
not.
So
Narine is not a strength 3.
So you're saying we're going? We're really low here. Okay, all right.
How about this? What's the next one after Narine?
Zed. Oh.
It's below Narine. Put it below Narine. Put it below Narine.
All right. Next up, give me the next one. I'll throw this in.
All right. Sacrifice. Operation cost 0, influence 1. As an additional cost to play this operation, forfeit an agenda.
Whoa. Sounds good already.
Oh, hang in there.
Yeah, man.
Remove 1 bad publicity per agenda point that the forfeited agenda was worth. Gain 1 credit for each bad publicity removed. Garbage. I'm out.
But
what is going on with this card? And what is up with the art, this creepy ass artwork on this card?
I can't see it. It's broken on mine.
I'm rereading the card to make sure I didn't mess it up. What?
So it's an operation, right? I'm going to recap it. Okay, stay with me. because the combo is just going to blow up. You're going to be like,
Okay, I'm
God,
ready.
I got this.
Okay.
Operation, 0 cost, 1 influence. So you could splash this, man. Any deck you want. It's awesome. As an additional cost to place operation, you forfeit an agenda. Got it?
Yeah.
So you work pretty hard, you scored something, forfeit that shit. Remove 1 bad pub per agenda point that the forfeited agenda was worth.
Plus, you're going to Jamison out some advancement tokens here.
Yeah.
Don't forget that.
You gain a credit for each bad publicity removed. You gain a credit. 1 credit per bad pub. 1. All you had to spend was play with this card in your deck and forfeit an agenda.
Yeah,
That's
but isn't anyone playing with that profiteering anyway? Like, we'll be swimming in bad pub.
No. Yes. I don't even know.
Swimming.
Okay, what? So, the purpose of this card seems like... So,
terrible.
we all know Wayland has... Yeah, the purpose of this card seems to be terrible. So, we all know that Wayland has a fair amount of cards that generate bad publicity. That goes without saying. I'm sure the card in Netrunner DB has like a million lists of like cards that generate bad pub. What I don't get, though, is that a credit per bad pub doesn't sound that amazing to me. So effectively what you're asking me to do is you're asking me to forfeit an agenda to pretty much, like, all that really matters is that I'm gaining the Jameson advancements, right? So...
It's comment is, I'm impressed they made a card worse than witness tampering.
Yeah, like...
Uh,
Or Jim... So, I mean... I don't know. So I guess you score hostile takeover. Bam, I got 1 point and I got a bad pub. And then you have, well, I got this 3-2 in my hand. I got an Atlas. So I will play sacrifice. Got him. Like, install the agenda. And then I mean, just, like, it just seems like you're doing a lot.
Hey,
And,
I'm,
like, it's
I'm
not-
running Grims again now. Yeah, because of this. Get rid of bad
Oh my God.
pub. Pow.
Grims.
Stop it.
Grims, which have been replaced now by what, Assassin, right? That's
Hey, so I don't know. I think the only reason that you're doing something like this is possibly some kind of Jemison.
But I feel like there's easier ways to start firing the combo, right? Or there's better things you can do than to play with this card.
Yeah, but there's not a whole ton of them. We still
True.
I mean, I still think you would want something in there just in case, right? Just in case you don't have that other stuff on the board, right?
true. But
Ben's all jazzed now on witness tampering. He's like, oh my god. It's only 1 influence too.
But check this out. So check.
Hold on. Before, give me the spoiler here, Hollis. Are you talking it up or talking it down?
I'm talking it down.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking it down.
Go ahead.
Because think about this. We bashed quarantine system, or I did. I bashed quarantine system, but I'm pretty sure quarantine system is better because it's an asset. So that means it stays in play. It forces the runner to react to it. And if we're talking like the amount of credits that it gives you, it technically gives you more credits than Sacrifice does. But the messed up part is that, you know, the Corp or the runner will retain, the Corp will retain their bad publicity, which means that the runner, of course, will get that advantage. But, I mean, I don't know that's necessary. I don't think that's necessarily better. Like, I don't know how that's, like, inherently better. I don't know.
I think quarantine needs to actually move up. I like that.
It's like...
Let's focus on sacrifice here. It has to be made.
Okay, so where, Corey, where do you... both you guys think it's going in bad?
Terrible.
Oh, shit. Really?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Really?
Yeah.
Yes.
So, terrible.
Yeah. I actually think it is terrible, yeah.
Okay, so here's the deal. I will put it there under protest. I'm on record. I'm on record.
Okay.
And the only way that I will complete this transaction if Hollis sings a couple bars from the song.
I don't know the song.
Come on, Creed, go ahead.
I don't know the song. I know the song, but I don't know the song though. I'm searching for the lyrics.
And I want every time you play this card, once it moves up, every time you do it, you have to sing it like Creed, with that accent, that my sacrifice. All right,
Corey, really? Corey,
Yeah.
have my back. You think it's terrible, also, Corey.
I do. I'm
Oh.
not singing Creed lyrics. I'm just gonna get terrible.
Okay, where in terrible is it going? Is it better than Next Wave 2?
It needs to be slotted below Creed.
Which one is Creed?
So my defense for why Next Wave 2 is better than Sacrifice is Next Wave 2 scores you agenda points.
Oh, is it better than Defense Construct? Don't make this the bottom of the barrel card.
Defense Construct is the card that's installed on Archives, right?
Right.
Damn, that card's bad.
Yeah. I'll let it be better than Defense Construct.
It's wholeheartedly I throw that in there.
Okay.
That's tough though.
Okay.
But,
Yeah, it is.
know,
It is
that's
tough
tough.
for me to do it. Jesus
all right.
Christ.
So we've got one card remaining. We ready? We're ready to wrap this up.
Yeah.
Sorry. It's been
I'd like it
wanna
on the record. This
apologize.
whole episode is under protest.
I just want to apologize to all the Wayland players about this pack. You go through highs and lows, guys, and I respect you. We're hanging in there and just sticking with the corporation. Because every time you get packs like this, you're just like, this is what I deal with. This is what I have to deal with.
This is what I've.
Mm.
Okay.
All right. So, as we move on, our neutral Corp card in this pack is Self-Adapting Code Wall. Ice Barrier, Res 3, Strength 1, Influence 0. The strength of Self-Adapting Code Wall cannot be lowered in the run subroutine. So, it's another piece of ice that can't be parasited, right?
Yeah, that's
Right.
good. That's good.
That's good. That's good.
That's yeah, okay.
It's 3 to res. So it's in that little like gear check category.
I think in the state we're at now, this is just, and I know that most people will be able to blow through it with whatever, and any barrier breaker obviously that they're equipping, but they still have to find it. It can't go anywhere. It's going to tax you a little bit. I kind of want to just say this is just average to me. This is just I'm not loving it. I'm not hating it, but I think it fills a role. I like the it can't be strength lowered for now where things can be lowered and blown up and all that jazz and stuff. Maybe down the road this has potential to slide if we see Cipher hit MWL as expected. Then there won't be so much of a need for this. But right now I think it fills a slot. It's okay.
Yeah, I like it. I would drop it in. I'm like in the average group with it. I don't think it's bad. I think if you want something a little different, you're worried about want something else help you a little bit against like Ice Murder, Ice Massacre, Ice Accost. It'll help you out. Yeah, it's good. I mean, not good, but it's not a bad piece of ice.
All right, let's just wait a second and. Let Captain Negativity say his bit.
Yeah.
Well, this card pretty much only exists to make sure that you have a gear check or a barrier that can get parasited. So,
and that's pretty good, right?
I think that
not pretty good. That's pretty average, right?
Yeah.
There we go.
That's average, right?
I think that in this meta, that's fine.
That's fine.
Like I don't even know a better way to like in the meta.
So let's just take a moment and just think about what we stated is in this meta, being able to play with a piece of ice that doesn't just immediately die to parasite is average.
Yes.
Got it.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Why you thinking it's higher? You thinking it's above average then?
No, it's hard for me to say it's above average. I mean, I think its ability is really useful.
I think if the stats were a little different, right? If it was fattened up a bit, like obviously the ability, like the front loaded stuff there, the strength of self-adapting code can't be lowered. Obviously, in the state that the game is in, that is off the charts good.
Yeah.
But then when you look at everything else, you start to play the roller coaster, right? So right now we're up, res cost of 3 on a strength 1. You're like falling. Oh, and then you tick up a bit because it's totally neutral, and hey, we can play it anywhere we want, right? So that floats it back up to average for me.
Yeah, average I think is fine. I think it's a good spot for it.
Yeah. Do you think it's better than Clyde?
Yes.
Do you think it's better than Net Analytics?
Yeah. Yes.
Do you think it's better than the adaptive barrier?
Oh boy. What do you think about that?
I think yes.
I think I will lean with yes.
Do you think it's better than Synth DNA?
I think because it's neutral and the versatility, I would say yes.
Yeah. Do you think it's better?
Just because it's neutral.
Yeah, I agree. Do you think it's better than Jemison?
No.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Boom.
Oh, have we done it? Have we done it, team?
Yeah, man.
We made it. Man, we had to split this to a two-parter. I was hoping we were going to get to our extended edition.
All right.
Oh boy.
There we are. Are you guys ready to move up anything? Move down anything?
Let's take a peek.
Let's see here. I mean, right now, I don't think there's anything that immediately that I want to change.
Did we miss quantum systems? I don't think quantum systems is slotted here.
You mean quarantine?
Quarantine systems, yeah. Oh no, there it is. Yeah, it's at the top of below average. And
there we go.
And it should go. It should be an average. It should be. But I don't think I'm going to get the votes to move it.
Yeah, man.
Silence is
yeah.
Silence.
It's harsh.
You guys.
It's a harsh world sometimes.
Guys.
So maybe next pack. Maybe next pack you can argue it out. You'll
see. All right. You guys have anything else? Any comments? I mean, looking at the trend, this life on Mars ain't so fabulous, is it?
Not on the Corp side, anyway.
Yeah.
So we're hoping to see some pretty hot cards. Hopefully, coming a little later in the cycle. It seems like the Corp's softballing it.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, eventually we're going to see a bunch of new cards there, right? TD should come out eventually.
Yeah, boost some of this stuff up, right?
Yeah,
you would think.
And then we're only 2 packs into the cycle, so there's going to be some hotness popping out somewhere.
Yeah,
something to take advantage of some of these synergies or these weird mechanics that we're kind of seeing on some of these card ideas. So we'll see what develops, right?
We certainly will. Maybe. I don't know. At this point, I think TD was a myth.
it's like Sasquatch.
Yeah.
The sightings are all fakes. made up with boxes.
I do. I think everything I've seen online about it is either photoshopped or film edited. I don't believe TD exists.
It's just like the Boone landing.
Yeah, did not happen.
Wow.
Thanks very much for everybody that that plays along at home. Guys, you have anything else to say?
No, man. Other than thanks again for listening, letting us plot along, drop some cards down. Appreciate the input and feedback.
Yeah. I think that the running tier list that we've been doing is probably one of the more is probably a really fun addition, I think, to the center way we normally do card reviews. I know a lot of people they'll rank the cards just based off that pack, and so ranking them this way has been like way more fun than like just traditionally talking about the card, because I think that having to go back and look at the other cards also kind of tells us how bad we are at like maybe some card like Judgment, because I know for a fact there's a couple cards I look back on and I'm like, shit, I thought that card was garbage. Maybe it's not really as bad as I thought it was compared to these things.
But it's too late, right?
Or maybe you had a card that you rated really high.
No.
That you found out was not really that great.
Yeah.
I mean, that could have been a thing you might have done.
I don't know. I think you guys err on the side of caution here.
Yeah. I think for sure what will happen also as we get near the end, we'll get to the point where we'll be looking at like a long list of cards. And I imagine we'll have a lot more cards sort of in the average to below average column maybe or whatever. And then we can say, all right, knowing what's average, knowing that the majority of things are average and below average, let's start kind of being nitpicky about the top three in each category, the bottom three in each category, seeing if any of those can be shifted around.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Cool. Well, hey, 4 more packs left. Let's see what comes out of Red Sands.
Man, I hope they're better. I really hope they're better.
Yeah.
Time will tell. Thank you very much for listening and checking out Bad Publicity, everyone. Really appreciate it.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah. Take care.
Have a good night.